Hello everybody and welcome back to Grunge. We are picking off right where we left off. We are at the top of chapter 2. We're at the top of chapter 2, everybody. I just clicked off of the window. I'm lost. Oh, what is a Grunge playthrough without me getting absolutely lost in the goddamn game that I made? Okay, so we are at we are in chapter 2 here. If you remember from the last episode, we kind of got through some of the quests. There are two of the quests which I know are broken, which are Charlie and Jada's, and I've notated those. However, if you go back and watch the previous episode, you'll still be able to see where you can do those quests. And interestingly enough, I programmed it so that it's still going to impact the ending of the game, even though you don't have the hearts, and I will explain what that means when we do get to the ending of the game. But we defeated Kenny. So Kenny came at us because Kenny was pissed that that Carmen was hanging out without him, and Kenny's just being all aggro. This is weird. That did not do that before. That's supposed to be a picture of Carmen. Not quite sure what's happening there. That's weird. That's new. Appreciate that. Writing that one down. So Carmen, so you essentially wake up and you're in New York City, and you're married to Carmen, and she's wearing this really sexy dress, and you're like very much kind of confused as to what's happening. And so then you go out and you talk to her about what has happened and like what happened to your lives since then. And then you're on a beach where you're being attacked by rabid seagulls. You're on a beach. Yep. Those seagulls, they're having a good time there. You wake up, essentially that was all a dream, and you're there on the beach, and Carmen wants you to put sunscreen on her back, so you go ahead and you put some sunscreen on her back. And then Carmen mentions that a boy from your school looks cute, but you're like, all men look the same to me. I don't care. Let me keep putting on sunscreen. And then Carmen kind of is starting to figure out that you like girls, and then you get really pissed when she calls you out on this, and then Carmen admits that she's been thinking about dating again. So this is the first kind of major time skip in Grunge. Each of these chapters is going to have a little bit of a time skip. This is the biggest time skip that you're going to encounter. Well, one of the biggest, I should say. I can't actually do math, so I have no idea if the other big time skip at the end of the game is greater or shorter than the number of years here. But essentially, you are in I believe you're about to start your senior year of high school. This is the end of your junior year, summer after your junior year. Summer before your senior year here. And so then she is talking to Carson, and she's actually flirting with Carson. And you get really pissed, and you get jealous again. And you're hostile, and Carmen's like, you're very, very hostile, and I don't know what your problem is. And so then you go back over to her truck, and you're going home because you went to the beach for the day. Got it. So this is a funny section, and this is honestly just ridiculous, but I'm going to read it out loud because it's one of my favorite parts. You think that old Rusty can get us back to Golden City before school starts on Monday? Serafina Baum, do not insult my car. I'm just saying, he was coughing and sputtering black exhaust the entire way up here. Sari, put your hands on the dashboard. What? On the dashboard. You obey her and she copies you. She lowers her head as if she's praying. Rusty, dearest of all trucks. I think dearest is a bit of a stretch. Please grant us safe passage on the way home. Forgive my friend's words of blasphemy. Well, and I thought you didn't believe in the power of prayer. I'm not praying to my car, Sari. I'm simply asking him to get us home safely. Kind of feels like we're praying. We're not praying. Well, can I pray? I'm suddenly moved. Sure, I guess. You clear your throat. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. So sorry, it's not funny, but it is. Carmen snickers and then sputters into laughter. She bangs her fist on the dashboard and the two of you laugh until you're crying. I hope everybody understands this Judy Blume reference because it made me laugh when I came up with this joke. I can't breathe, Sari. I can't breathe. You speak louder. God, I want bigger boobs. Shut up, people can hear you. Well, God can't hear me unless I speak loudly. You should be quieter. What? I should be louder? Okay. Hey, God, why can't I menstruate? I can't take you anywhere. The two of you snickers as families shamefully glare at you on the way to their cars. If you guys don't know the book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It's essentially a coming-of-age story about a little girl who wants to, she's like a preteen, and she's very excited about getting her period, and she's very excited about like growing breasts and things like that, and literally like that's the whole book. There's also some kind of weird like religious undertones to the book, because I think that she's half Jewish, and then half of her family's Jewish, half of her family is Catholic, and so she doesn't really know what she wants to practice, if she wants to practice Judaism or Christianity. That's kind of a minor sort of subplot within the book. Mostly it's just about these girls that just want to grow boobs and have periods, which I think is like miserable. But essentially Sari is saying, my teacher forced us to read that in the 6th grade. She gave the boys a copy of Gary Paulson's Hatchet, and we got Are You There, God's Me, Margaret. The only thing I remember from that book is the girls saying we must increase our bust. I mean, it had some interesting sort of religious conflicts, but like the rest of it was pretty bad. How so? Well, she's like really upset that she waits so long to get her period, and I don't know. When I first read it, I was mad that mine had come so soon. Really? In 6th grade? Oh, honey, 4th grade. No. Yes, I literally got my period a few weeks after I turned 10 in the middle of gym class. No! And that day I was wearing white shorts. Everyone thought I had shit myself because it had dried out and kind of looked brown. I thought I had diarrhea. You'd be surprised, but that is a very common story amongst us with vaginas and uteri. A lot of us are like... I think that we imagine that a period will look very distinctly like blood, and it does not. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's a lie. Like, I have never seen, they were like, oh, it looks kind of pinkish, it looks kind of red. It's brown. When it first starts, like, I think it just kind of looks brown, but then as you get older, it starts to look more red, or it has, like, deeper redder undertones, but, like, so many girls, like, my age, including myself, like, when we got our periods for the first time, we're like, oh, I guess I can't stop crapping my pants, like, I felt like I was cursed to be born a woman, God, I hated it. I was a C-cup at the age of 9. All the boys used to snap my straps. Suddenly everyone was telling me that I was a woman and I needed to grow up, and my mom was buying boxes of tampons and pads. Like, all I wanted to do was play with my dollhouses and my little ponies. I was the opposite. I kind of relate to Margaret more. Did you actively try to increase your bust? No, not quite that extreme. But I used to stand in front of the mirror naked and wonder why my breasts just weren't there. Even with my long hair, I looked like a boy. I thought that I would feel so much better about myself if I could at least fill out my training bra. And I didn't actually get my period until the 8th grade. Then once it happened, it felt like all that anxiety and angst disappeared. I was almost kind of disappointed. I figured it'd be like this incredible moment, and the heavens would open above you. Kinda, yeah. But I didn't feel like I was all of a sudden a woman. I felt like I was just a child now trapped in a woman's body. I still feel like that sometimes. It's interesting. I would trade your experience... I would trade your experience for mine, and you seem like you prefer mine. Well, sure, grass is always greener on the other side. And at least you had your mom with you. Oh, Carmen, I'm sorry. I didn't... No, I'm just saying. I didn't have anyone that I could talk to about these sorts of things. I had brothers who kind of just shrivel up and die if they saw a tampon in the trash can. And I had Poppy who's super supportive, and he tried, but he doesn't understand. I had to learn about these things from my teachers, which was mortifying. Mortifying because I didn't really know them well, and also because everyone pitied me. If I had a mommy to talk to, I think I would have felt better, less secure. Less insecure. Well, if it makes you feel better, my mom wasn't exactly the most supportive of her kind either. She's kind of been a hands-off parent. When I came home that day and I was just sobbing from the humiliation, my white shorts fucking ruined, she just sort of handed me a box of tampons and said, this is how you take care of it. We didn't talk about boys or bodies or shit that women have to deal with when they get older. She just provided what I needed and then walked away. Have you ever tried talking about how it makes you feel? I have, yeah. And for a while she'll try. She'll actually try, but soon enough she'll grow distant. And it's taken me a while to realize it, but it's not my responsible relationship with my mother. She takes her hand. You're alarmed by this at first and your body stiffens, but she's looking at you with those big brown eyes of hers and it disarms you. I'm sorry that she makes you feel that way. You want to stay in this moment, with your fingers intertwined, the dying summer sun drifting over the sunset in the distance. You think of all the times you've laughed with Carmen, cried with her, cuddled on the couch, or prowled the streets looking for fun. But it's moments like these when you're at your most vulnerable that you love her the most. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little emotional. But you're distracted by the number written on her wrist and the idea that one day she's going to be sitting inside of Rusty with some drip named Carson or whatever, holding his hand. She's like Sari, in the same way that she's holding yours now. Laughing with him, crying with him, telling him all the things that she's ever told you. You think about being replaced, and your stomach twists in a series of knots. You're sure that this love will kill you one day. The following Sunday, you end up working at Harmon's auto shop. So remember Harmon for the first chapter? He was kind of like kind of the neighborhood hero. He runs the auto shop. He takes care of a lot of people in the neighborhood. He's also dating Mr. Carver, who is one of the teachers at your high school. Serafina, where did I put the doohickey? The doohickey or the thingamajig? Definitely the first thing. Here it is. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can't fix this. Coolio. You know, have you given much thought to working at the shop full-time after graduation? I still want to write, so I think I could only do part-time for now. That's fine, too. I couldn't offer you full benefits unless you were full-time, though. Benefits? Like health insurance, life insurance, 401k, all that good adult stuff. That is a train. You give your employees that? Of course, I have to take care of my people. Harmon, can I ask you a question? Shoot. Mr. Carver is retiring this year, but you're not. Why is that? I don't want to. But why not? I like working on things. I like to think it keeps my mind sharp. Unless I get arthritis or something, I see no reason to stop working. Well, then I've talked about working less, though, going on trips more. Where are you going to go? He's always wanted to go to Iceland, actually. Really? Why? Not a lot of people go, and it's supposed to be real pretty with the northern lights and all. I didn't know that. Yeah, well, Will knows things like that because he's a giant geek. Harmon! Oh, come on, he's a geek. I love the guy, but he is who he is. Anyways, I'm planning on taking him there sometime next year. It's supposed to be a surprise, so don't say anything. Harmon wipes his hands off the handkerchief he keeps in his pocket. You hungry? You want to get some lunch? When am I not hungry, Harmon? He laughs. All right, you want to swing by Mr. Jordan's and pick us up some lunch? I can do that. You remember my order? Egg salad? Haha, funny. No, it's a ham sandwich with extra cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, red onion, and 2 mayo packets on the side. Wow, you actually did remember. I've been getting us lunches for nearly 3 years now, Harmon. I better remember the order by now. All right, I'll see you in a bit. When you get back, you should tell me about your beach trip with Carmen. I bet that was fun. And then you don't want to say anything. So that's great. Okay. So let's go ahead and do some of the quests. So I think one of the, let me see here. These guys are not, you don't get to go into the store again. Oh, Carmen and Brandy are having a conversation about personal issues. So Candace has been dating Michael all this time, since freshman year when he first asked her out. So she's been dating him for a very, very long time. And she recently just had sex with Michael, and she is kind of talking to Brandy about the experience because she sort of feels like it was supposed to be more fun than it actually was. And it wasn't that Michael did anything bad or anything. She's just like, when I think about shows and when I think about movies, like, it always just seems like it's this big, passionate thing, and it not always is. And so Candace feels like a little bit let down by that. Like, she was wondering if she should have faked something, essentially. I will not say the word explicitly on here, but Brandy was like, no, why would you do that? Like, it's fine if it's boring, like, as long as you're comfortable and everything is fine. But she just doesn't know exactly, like, what's not clicking for her in this situation with Michael. And so her and Candace are kind of having that conversation so that they can kind of open up about it a little bit more. And Brandy, as sex positive as she is, and these guys are going through some issues. Topher is selling pot to Josefina's brother, but does not realize that is Josefina's brother. I'm so sorry. Josefina's brother. So he is selling pot to Josefina's brother. He didn't realize that was happening, so she asks him to stop doing that, and he agrees to do it because she's like, well, this is kind of his last shot. He's got a drug problem. If he gets caught with pot in the house, he will absolutely get kicked out. There's cats everywhere. There's cats everywhere in this goddamn game. Okay. So Margarita is pretty much the first prominent quest that you can come across in this game. And Margarita is essentially, she lost $500. She lost like a parcel that had money for her grandmother's insulin in it, and so she lost the entire thing. And you can just give her the money. You can literally just give her $500. And that's it. Oh, the kids. The little kids have their quests here. Luther, Mateo, and then Jasmine and Latoya. I'm sorry, Latoya, Mateo, Luther, Jasmine. Their quests are all here. Oh my god, why did I give so many people L names? No. So they're getting in a fight because Latoya wants to be a knight, and Mateo says the girls can't be knights, and so they're fighting about it. And Latoya admits that she really hates being a girl, so you're just there to kind of cheer her up. And let me talk to Mateo here. So this is Mateo. And you just basically, this is just a quest where you literally don't have to do anything. So we've done Margarita, Latoya, Mateo. Let's go and try to find Jasmine, who is, we'll find Jasmine in a second here, who's Luther's mom. And Luther essentially has asthma, but doesn't want to tell his friends that he has asthma. Okay. And then Ale says, well, it's official, I've been dumped. And so, Ale is talking about how the girl that he loved dumped him, and he's really sad about it. And Ed is just like, screw her. I didn't like your girlfriend anyways. We're gonna go make fun of dudes that drive Volvos, because that's just their thing. So they're gonna go do that. And where the hell is your... Jasmine! Hi. Hi, Jasmine. I can help. Let's go help. So we're gonna bring him his inhaler. So we're gonna go talk to Luther. Okay, I guess I will fight people since they, like, won't leave me the hell alone. Do you want to karate chop some people, my love? Oh, that's right. She can blow kisses. I forgot. And blowing kisses means that you... Let's see here. Oh my god. Candace is, like, so hella overpowered, and... I'm fine with that. I'm cool. I'm sitting on that. That's fine. I got too many complaints about how hard this game was to play before, and so now I'm like, well, now you're just god level. So basically, Luther has to explain the fact that he has asthma. And then if we talk to her, we're gonna go do Lynn's quest. So our mom actually has a quest of her own that we can do here. So your mom is at home and she is drinking during the day, and so you can sit next to her, and your mom is essentially sitting here. She's looking at old photo albums, old wedding pictures of you and your dad. I'm sorry, her and your dad, herself and your dad. So she gets really, really sad, and she explains that she's kind of a mess right now because your father and his new wife, the mistress that he had, are now expecting. They're expecting twins, in fact. And so you can kind of just be like, that's weird, but okay. And the mom gets really upset and kind of talks more about how she kind of feels like she sort of ruined their relationship because they had issues with fertility. It took them a long time to be able to conceive you. Your mom went through a miscarriage, and your mom has kind of dealt with some trauma, and she's just she kind of is the type of person that instead of addressing her trauma full front, she's going to be the type that gets really angry really easily. So you feel really still awful about yourself. And this is kind of, you know, you have this moment where your mom actually says that she loves you, but you don't really feel it, which is really sad because she's just been so aloof and so hands off, and you feel like even though she finally got the baby that she always wanted, which was you're kind of the dud of the child. You're a lesbian. You get in fights at school. You're not particularly, like, good at school on top of that. So, you know, you just don't feel like you're living up to kind of your mother's expectations. And to be honest, and how she kind of treats you, that's very much how it feels too. These two are also having a date on the other side of the map. Like I said, this is one of those kind of, this is one of those situations where it's not a bug. I actually just put people here to kind of fill up the map, even though they're in different areas twice. And then kind of one of the other big things. This is Caesar. He is here, and he is on his computer, and his computer has a virus, and it's because he won't stop looking at free porn. And so then he is kind of very insulting and sexist towards you. He just thinks that you're not going to be able to fix it at all. And then you bring in Carmen, who essentially knows how to fix it, and she's just like, just don't look at free porn, dude. Like, let me just get this adware and all these viruses removed from your computer. She does it very, very fast, and it works. And so then that's how you can get his heart. And then this is an interesting one. So Sari, so you can come and you can sit in with Carmen, and if you sit with Carmen in the shop, if you sit right across from him, this is the only way that you can get this quest to trigger, which is really specific. I messed up on this a couple times when I was playtesting because I just kept forgetting, like, what am I supposed to do? I thought all I had to do was talk to Carmen. And no, you need to go sit there. So Manolo, Carmen's oldest brother, is going to come in with his girlfriend, Amaya. They're going to talk kind of more about the relationship and about how she really wants Manolo to finally move out of the house because they've been together for like 3 years. It's kind of ridiculous. And he still lives at home with the family. And she's just like, I know that you care about your family, but dude, like, you need to move out of your house. And Manolo explains that he's too nervous and he doesn't want to do that because Carmen's still in school, and Javi, the littlest brother, he's also still in school. He's nowhere near close to graduation, and she's just like, you can't stay at home and take care of your family until all the kids are up and out of the house. Like, you're not their parent. And Carmen feels really bad that her brother doesn't exactly want to move on with his life until all the kids are grown up because he's just so worried about what's going to happen if he's not there. And then, so after you do that, I always forget where Carmen's is. Okay, fine, I'll fight these mean girls. God, get tired of them. They're over here all the time. When I first programmed this game, I mean, it was honestly incredible, like, how many girls there were. Like, just a lot. I mean, there were enemies, like, everywhere. You would run into the mean girls constantly. Like, I think it was, like, every 7 paces or something crazy like that. So, this is this. So, essentially, you step forward, and Gato is still there, alive and kicking, and Manolo says to Diego that he's getting a place with Amaya, and he wants Diego to promise him that he's gonna step up. But Diego's like, well, I'm not a parent, like, this isn't my job, and I don't care. And he kind of fights with Manolo about it, and he's just like, I don't want to give up on my dreams, you know, of becoming a famous boxer just because you think that I need to take care of our siblings. And essentially you guys have to intervene, and you kind of have to play peacemaker. And Diego is really, really sad because Diego is really sad about it. Because he's just like, I guess I forget, like, exactly how much time, like, my brother invested into this relationship and invested into taking care of everybody as we were all growing up. Like, I underestimated that, and I feel bad about that now. So, Manolo then decides to propose to Amaya, but they can't get married because Amaya is a trans woman, and back in the 1990s, it was very, very hard, harder than it is now at least, to change your gender on your forms. And I don't think that she could legally change her gender until she had gender confirmation surgery. So, unfortunately, they cannot get married. But Amaya's like, that's fine. I will just be your wife in body and soul. And so they're very cute, and I hate them, and they're adorable, and they're wonderful, and I hate it, and it makes me feel sad. Yeah, so you should be sitting at about 40 hearts right now at this point in the story. Alrighty. And then we've got, I think, just one more quest left for this section, which is Mr. Jordan's quest. And so actually, when you go inside the convenience store, Mr. Jordan, he's not going to be, when you go inside to try and get, like, the sandwiches that Harmon's asked for, he's not going to be there. He's going to be at the back. And he is dealing with a panic attack because he's a Vietnam veteran. And some kids were setting off firecrackers outside of the clinic, so he's a little bit upset. So you basically just have to go and help him. And he essentially just says that he was trying to use a grounding technique. He was trying to, like, stay out of the way, and stay away from, like, the kids that are setting off firecrackers. And then you can go ahead and you can buy Harmon's special sandwich, and you can buy whatever you want. I'm probably going to buy some 50% HP recovery. I'm going to get some Doritos, man. And so then she says, you didn't ring me up for the sandwich, and he says, it's on the house today, darling. So Mr. Jordan's just really great, and I love him, and I love a lot of the men in this neighborhood that try so hard to be good role models to all these damn kids, and, like, they try really, really hard, guys. They try so hard. Okay, we gotta go talk to Harmon now. So you should be about 40, you should be at about 41 hearts. According to my guide, technically we should have 44 hearts, but again, I think the 2 quests that are broken right now are Charlie's and Jada's, and then it's either Carlos's or something happened with Stefan Golaby's quest, as I might have mentioned before. You should, so being at 41 hearts, you're about right in the ballpark of where you're supposed to be. Excellent. So we're going to continue on with the second piece, and we'll just keep kind of reading through the rest of this. I hope that you guys are enjoying this episode. It's been a little bit action-packed. This, I think, is the most quest-dense chapter. Quest-dense chapter. It's the most quest-packed chapter. There's a lot of quests. So I just kind of have to keep referring back to the own guide that I've written here, just to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly, because I'm like, am I doing things correctly? I don't know. And so she, like, insinuates that I'm gay. I mean, can you believe it? Harmon twists the wrench, gritting his teeth. No, ma'am, I cannot. Damn, is this tight enough? You blink, your hands hanging limply at your side. Usually Harmon is way more engaged when you tell your stories. He seems different. She said that I acted like a lesbian. Harmon glances over at you, smirking. He wipes his hands on a grease-stained handkerchief he has tied to his belt. Well, are you? No, because it's okay if you are. I mean, that might not mean a lot coming from me, but it's okay. Look, I'm not. Why does everyone think that I am? It's so obnoxious. Because you don't show any interest in men. I mean, guys walking in and out of here all the time and you don't bat an eye. You spend your time after school working here with me or hanging out with Carmen, who you talk about incessantly. Jesus, Harmon, I didn't know I bothered you that much. He laughs, shaking his head. Girl, when did I say that you were bothering me? You don't bother me. I enjoy having you around and having your help in the shop. But it just seems off. You originally wanted to start working here because you wanted to learn more about cars for when you got your motorcycle license. And while you've been helping, you also ask for advice with Carmen. Kind of makes me think you're really here because you want a gay role model. You're no one's role model, Harmon. Oh my god, Will is here to roast everybody. Harmon's partner, Mr. Carver, stands in the door of the auto shop. Harmon smiles wide, his eyes shining. Hey, baby, to what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Mr. Carver's eyes widen, outraged. Don't call me baby in front of other people. Oh, no, how could I forget? Think of the children. It's fine, Mr. Carver, really? God, this couple. Okay, Mr. Carver teaches English at your high school. He's kept his sexuality a not-so-well-kept secret for the past few decades. He can call me by my name, Will. All right, Will, what have you got for me? Oh my god. Oh my god. I love this couple so much. They're my OTP. For God's sake, it's 7 o'clock. Your employees have gone home and you need to as well. And this one has school tomorrow. You can't keep working like this, Harmon. I swear you're gonna collapse from a stroke one day. You exaggerate way too much, babe. Will. I'm strong as an ox. Doctor even says so. Look, can you come home already? I have dinner on the table and everything. Cool. Sari, wash up and let's go to dinner. Roger. Harmon, doesn't she have to go home? My mom's always working, Mr. Carver. If you'll have me, I'll come over for dinner. Well, come on. It's not one of those dinners, is it? Harmon! Oh, come on. Quit acting like she doesn't know. I don't want to know what you guys mean by those kinds of dinners. Serafina, I have no idea what he's insinuating, but you're more than welcome to come over for dinner. I made a chili in the slow cooker and have baked fresh cornbread muffins. All right, let's eat. That cornbread was incredible, Mr. Carver. Thank you, Serafina. Hear that, Harmon? Someone who appreciates my cooking. I love your cooking, hun. Sari, I swear he's only behaving himself because you're around. Every night this man will say things like, wow, babe, this is great, but you know what would be good? Some gumbo. So the next night I'll make gumbo. And then he'll say, oh, wow, this gumbo is fantastic, babe, but you know what I've been craving? Burgers. You can't keep up with my cravings, Will. They're elusive. Oh, I'll catch up to them one day. I just have to think one step ahead. You should just make like a buffet of all his favorite foods so that he can't say anything about it. That's actually brilliant. Too bad I can't do that. I'd spend all day in the kitchen. What if I helped you? Harmon, you don't help. You distract me. I just don't understand why America doesn't use the metric system. We had to be unique. What a convoluted accomplishment. Well, do you have to be running home, Serafina, or is your mother still at work? I know without even needing to call her that she is still at work, Mr. Carver. Well, why don't I do these dishes and then we can sit down and have some pie. I bought a sweet potato pie from the bakery. Will, you know I need to watch my cholesterol. Watch your own cholesterol. I'm having pie. Right after I do the dishes, that is. So, Sari, why don't you go watch some TV or something? It'll be a few. I can help, Mr. Carver. No, honey. And then he's just basically like, no, you're a guest in our house. You don't help with dishes. All right, well, let me know if you need anything. So we can go and we can kind of explore other things. So yeah, it's 6:15. Nothing to watch on television except reruns of Cheers and The Cosby Show. Mr. Carver is one of the few older people you know who doesn't shy away from technology. He bought a PC from a catalog. Mostly he uses it to play solitaire. So then you can just kind of hang out. And then, yeah, they do dishes together, and they're cute, and I love them. Just about finished with these dishes. Ready for pie? Yes, I'm always ready. Alrighty, let's break out some plates. The pie was delicious, Mr. Carver. I'm so glad you liked it. So how excited are you for school? I'm super stoked. Carmen and I are really happy to have creative writing with you this year. Here we go again with Carmen. He chuckles, but you don't find it funny. Neither does Mr. Carver. Harmon. I'm sorry, Sari, but I gotta say it. You're not pulling the wool over my eyes with this girl. You're talking to someone who has been living with a man since he was 28. Harmon. We're just friends. That's a load of bullcrap. Harmon, 1, eating, 2, rude. Sari and I were having a conversation about school, and you turned it to whatever it is that you find interesting. I'm not spinning this into something about my self-will. Sari clearly has strong feelings about her friend, and if she wants help with it, this is a safe space. Oh yes, Harmon, this is a real safe space. You just outed her at the dinner table. Thanks for the pie, Mr. Carver. I think I'm gonna go home now. Sari, honey, wait. Oh, Harmon, what did you have to say that for? Why did you say that? Can't you see that you hurt her feelings? Well, she's only hurting herself. Serafina, wait. I'm sorry for what Harmon said at dinner. I think he just thinks that, well, it's hard to be young and gay, and everyone tells me that I'm gay, but I don't know if I really am. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Seems I have more to apologize for. I'm sorry that Harmon thinks you're a lesbian. No, he's not wrong in thinking I am, but I don't know. Mr. Carver, before I met Carmen, it was like going through life without ever hearing music. And as soon as I saw her face, harmony, beautiful harmony. It was like I had synesthesia. I could hear harmonies I'd never heard in my life, and everything became rosy-colored. I think it's a beautiful thing, Sari, but it's not. I'm supposed to be your best friend, and instead I'm this maybe lesbo that just wants to get with her. Okay, can I stop you right here there for a second? Because if you do identify as a lesbian or bisexual, lesbo and dyke are slurs. I met a lesbian once who said she was trying to reclaim the word. Good lord, kids these days. Sari, I don't think there's anything wrong in trying to figure out who you are, and I'm sorry that people keep throwing labels at you. You deserve to figure out who you are on your own terms. Harmon and I just want you to know that we're here to support you. Oh my god. I'm okay. I never had a role model. No gay man to look up to. Everyone was in the closet, so when I came to understand who I was, well, that was scary and overwhelming and dangerous. We just want to help you, provide some guidance. That's all I'm trying to say. You swallow back tears. You nod your head, looking down at your scuffed sneakers. Mr. Carver pats the top of your head like your dad used to do when you were little. I'm sorry, honey. Everything seems so hard right now, but it gets better. I promise. And the feelings I have about myself, will they get better, Mr. Carver? What do you mean, honey? And you can either, this doesn't affect the route either way. This is Mr. Carver's quest, essentially, this whole scene. But it doesn't affect the route either way. You can admit that you feel really bad about yourself right now. Or you can just say, nothing, like, never mind. Because Sari kind of lies. For the purpose of my narrative and my playthrough, I'm just going to say I feel awful. I go from feeling sad to just feeling nothing. Some days I wonder if I can just not feel myself out of existence. I know what you mean. You do? Yeah, I do. And what I can tell you is that it doesn't get better unless you talk to someone about it. We have a guidance counselor at a school, Sari. Mrs. Simpson is a very nice lady. I don't think I feel okay talking to a total stranger about my feelings, especially when it comes to my feelings for my best friend, who is a girl. Well then, come and talk to me, or Harmon, when he's not being an asshat. If you ever want to talk, you know where to find me, here and at the high school. He places a heart token into your hand. I think you dropped this, dear. You earned a heart token. Oh, this is breaking. So essentially, I don't know why that's broken. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. So I'm going to end this episode here. We essentially have made it. You should be sitting at a point where you have about 42 hearts in your system. Again, you're going to be missing about 3 at this point. Because 2 of the quests are broken, but don't worry, we still have a lot more left to do before I determine if this game is actually, in fact, so broken that you cannot get the best ending possible. So we will go ahead and we will go ahead and we'll keep going on with this game and figuring out exactly what it is that we need to do. But I want to thank you all so much for watching and for continuing to enjoy this series. I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying the series. It's kind of blown my mind a little bit how many people have tuned in specifically, because I know that you guys like visual novels, but it always blows my mind when people tune in specifically to watch me play a game that I made. Like, I think that that's just so funny. I hope that it's at least helpful to kind of learn about sort of the inside of game development and kind of what an indie developer has to go through. At least someone like me who has had no prior experience in making games prior to making this, prior to making Grunge. There are a lot of things I did wrong with Grunge, but I think that there are a lot of things that I also did right as well. So I kind of I like doing these walkthroughs because I also like to talk about kind of my process. And I also like to talk about the story and kind of re-immerse myself and get reacquainted with something that I made that I've distanced myself from for like the past, since its release date. I kind of was like, nope, it is out there and it is in the world and it is good and it is fine. So I'm glad. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider leaving a like. It really does help the channel out. And then if you want to see future episodes or see playthroughs of other games, things like that, please subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, be sure to hit that notifications bell so that you get updates on when I upload future videos. And without further ado, thank you all again so much for watching. Bye!